Hey guys, welcome back. All right, let's get into one of these specific messages. So I do these like when I have a thought in my mind that pops in out of nowhere, and then we roll with that for the storyline beginning point. And I had in my mind someone that was smoking. I don't see very many people smoking these days. I'm personally an asthmatic, so I smoking is of anything ever has never been a part of my world. But um, I was picturing somebody that I couldn't even see their face because it was so much smoke. So I don't know if it was really supposed to be that somebody was actually smoking like a cigarette or if it was more somebody just blowing smoke. And that could have been more the metaphor for, like how the story will start. So I'm holding this deck. I think I only want one or two cards of it, and then I want to switch because I've got another deck that I want. Okay, we have a Five of Cups. Hi, everybody. 11D8, you first in the house, babe. Hi, Lulu. Good to see you guys. Okay, so we start out with this Five of Cups, which is the energy of sorrow. If somebody is blowing smoke, they may be pretending that they don't care, but I don't get it like that. I actually think that whoever is blowing smoke is the one causing somebody else grief. It kind of seemed rude, okay? In my mind, the way somebody was standing there intentionally making a smoke cloud or a smoke screen, it seemed like they did it with kind of a rude edge to it, like, here, let me muddy the waters, let me make it harder for you to see what's up. So I don't get that it was her blowing smoke or pretending that she's not sad. I don't see her trying to pretend anything. I just see her very sad. Knight of Swords. Something is happening really swiftly, but not for her. Okay, so we may have a feminine. She may be somebody, there's kind of like a homespun energy about her, right? Big, wide sun brim hat, long hair, braided, simple braid down the back. This seems like a very like unassuming, kind of straightforward, maybe somebody who lives in the country, maybe somebody who, just kind of is, I don't know, just feels a little bit fresh-faced, a little bit straightforward. Even what she's wearing is kind of like modest but simple, and I feel like she wears her emotions very plainly. And I feel like if somebody is unkind, she kind of takes it on the chin, and it's like, well, there's not much I can do about that. That's the way they choose to behave. So I guess that's what it is. What am I supposed to do about that? Whatever is going on here, this feels like a fast talker, somebody who operates at a whole different speed. I don't know if this is somebody intentionally, like, I'm going to use the word like running over somebody. I don't mean like running over somebody. I'm talking about like somebody they talk right over somebody, and they're such, they think that they're firing on all cylinders. They're so fast. They're so glib. They're so this, they're so that. And she's so country and so slow. This person seems annoying to me, to put it mildly. Plus they're only a knight. That's, just because you're zipping around, spinning circles around somebody, trying to make somebody look foolish, or like you're a fast talker, but she's kind of more slow and thoughtful. I'm willing to bet she has a lot more profound things to say. Like, many people that pause and choose their words carefully are the words that weren't listening to them. People that always yammer, most of the time I'm just like, oh, you want to just cringe and like move away from the barrage of words, right? We got the Ace of Cups. We got the Six of Cups. This is so weird though, because she's really sad. Maybe she's sad over their behavior, but this person is like trying to push forward, move fast. It could be a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. They could be someone who maybe they don't know how to slow their pace down, but either they're trying to get her to love them, or they're trying to announce that she loves them. There's something here about, like, this Six of Cups card to me says a lot more about, again, her behavior, right? She's sitting here quietly reading a book with her cat. This is not a fast moving person. I almost feel like she loves this person. She does, but they buzz around like a bee that can't sit still. They're noisy, they're loud, they're back and forth, they're in and out of her life. And it's really sad because they're wrecking a good thing. I feel like that's more the energy coming from her. What's the deal with the puff of smoke? Is this somebody who, like, they live in a land of, like, they can't even see what they're doing? Yeah, Two of Wands. Okay. So we have a very fast moving, indecisive person. And this could be our masculine. He seems to be somebody who wants it all. He wants to go right, he wants to go left, he wants to go straight down the middle. If he's driving, he's weaving in and out of traffic like a sports car driver. He's always on the go. He can't slow down and really build a connection and a relationship. And she seems to be saying, this is so sad. It breaks my heart, because if he could just slow down, if he could just like focus, I know that we have a chance for a good thing here. Oh, that song, Theola Kilgore, I think, sings it. If you should lose me, oh yeah, you'll lose a good thing. I'm giving you one more chance for you to do right. If you'd only straighten up, we could have a good life. But if you don't believe me, just try daddy and you'll lose a good thing. I want to say it's Theola Kilgore. I haven't heard the song in so many years. I used to stay up all night on Saturday nights as a kid, as like a teen, and paint to the blues show on NPR. And I was so hooked on blues from like 14 to 18. That's like all I listened to all night long on Saturday nights. But this feels like we have this masculine who is just all over the place, can't decide. He won't choose between one or the other. He keeps trying to reach for another choice. Like he can get it all. I could see that maybe it's even he's burning rubber. Maybe it's not somebody smoking up the joint and, blowing smoke. And maybe this is more the metaphor, like in the cartoons, when like Wile E. Coyote takes off and there's this big cloud of smoke because he's moving so fast. It could be a Roadrunner. I don't know. I can't remember which cartoon character, probably Roadrunner. I feel like he can't hold still. Ace of Swords. It is too bad, because the moment of truth has either come or is coming. And that's going to be the moment where, this isn't going to work. If you can't choose, if you rush in impulsively, but then can't make a decision about what to do once you've rushed in impulsively, then I'm going to have to cut you free. You are going to lose me. And the dragonfly is about action taking, which could be a really good thing. But then we have all these wishes that really haven't been fulfilled. I don't know. Everything here just keeps saying to me that she's really sad, but she's got to let him go. That's what I would say. She's got to let him go. Judgment. It is Judgment Day, I think. And this is kind of, even though she's sad to do it because she feels like it's a soulmate and she feels like she loves him, I almost think she's saying, well, it's time, though, to let him go. If ever things change, then who knows? Maybe there's a second chance for this later on, but not right now, not the way things have been, not the way things are. So I see her making a judgment call. I keep feeling like she thinks he needed something like of substance to hold on to, the image of like holding on to. It's like he's slipping away. He's slipping further and further into chaotic energy. And it's like, I can't hold on to somebody and make them stop buzzing and make them stop zipping around. I wish I could, but I can't. It's time. I got to let them go do what they want to go do. We got the Knight of Coins sideways. She kind of doesn't really expect that there's ever going to be a time where their energy settles. And indeed, you notice they've never come out as a king, queen, and emperor and empress, only come out as knights and indecisive knights at that. Not even somebody who's taking action toward their dreams and goals, but rather somebody who's just, this feels like a chaotic character. And for them to slow down, she kind of is under the impression that they'll only ever have periods of time where maybe they run out of steam for a little bit, but then they'll be right back to their old behaviors or old games. Knights are just action takers. They haven't figured out who they are, so they're still exploring the world. Maybe this is basically a young soul that we're talking about, somebody that's just not mature enough yet. We have a Page of Wands upright. That Page of Wands, once again, we got pages and knights. The thing that I think is hitting her a little hard here also is that she's realizing, and forgive me, I know it's going to sound like, yikes, painful for her, but I think she's realizing that their desire for her isn't even like significant enough. Oh, they're attracted to her, but not like she stands out amongst all the rest. I mean, to put it simply, I think she's like, I loved them so much, but I don't really think that they loved me. Maybe they're not capable. Maybe, I don't know. It almost feels like this person's mind bounces around so much. And they're, okay, let me put this in a context because I'm literally picturing my blue healer. He's a cattle herding dog, right? That's what he's bred for. It is in his DNA. So there will never be anything more exciting to him than if a flock of birds flies over and he wants to race and chase and herd the birds, or if he sees a fly buzzing around. He gets these crazy dog eyes, and that is his primary focus. And I realize it's because that is like him at his soul is doing what it's bred to do, right? And he loves it. And it is one of those things where, you know, that's where training to make sure that he still hears my voice, so that he'll pause and stop when I tell him to, so he doesn't run, you know, whatever, into a building as he's chasing birds or something. I don't really have to manage him that much. He's pretty good. They're very trainable dogs. But my point is that crazy-eyed, like that's all he pays attention to. It isn't that he doesn't like being my dog, but that's what he's going to do more so than anything else in that moment. And I kind of feel like it's the best way I could describe this character, and this is kind of what she's realizing, is when he gets that crazy eye that, you know, oh, something randomly is more exciting. Not even like, oh, I'm more attracted to somebody else. In fact, he doesn't seem to be somebody who's pulled away by other attractive energies, right? We don't have a Knight of Wands. We don't have him out, you know, sorry, I was going to be really crude just now. I was going to say out slutting around. Sorry, no disrespect. I'm saying I don't think he's out, you know, being a tomcat, chasing everybody around town, looking for, you know, tail or whatever. I don't think it's like that, because we don't have that card here. What we have is somebody who gets really excited about anything of interest to them. So essentially, although they're attracted to her, if they see, let's say he's really into cars, and all of a sudden it's like, I'm going to go take classes to be a race car driver, he could bail on her, because even though she's really attractive and he likes to kiss her a lot, he'd rather go now suddenly dump her, forget about the date they had, and go to the race car track. It could be very impulsive behavior like that. And it's like, oh no, I want her too, but I also got to go to the racetrack. So, you know, somehow she'll have to make accommodations to still be in my life, because I want this and I want that and I want this. And I feel like that kind of, you know, squirrel kind of attitude is not working for her. And it's really unfortunate, because although there's lots of action, it's not really like he can center in and say, what are my priorities? What do I care about most? He's still exploring the world. And I think she's under the impression, I don't know that that's ever going to change. And if it doesn't work for me, because obviously she's on a whole different energy level, right? She's this calmer, you know, even this is not like a rapid, you know, wild waves or anything. She's standing in this placid kind of pond. She's sitting here reading a book with a cat. She wants to love somebody in a goblet. She wants to hold on to somebody. This is not her man. I'm sorry. In this storyline, this ain't your man, because he's not matching your energy. So on one hand, I could understand, well, that she's sad, but on the other hand, it's kind of like, but why be sad over somebody who clearly isn't a match for you? Other than she says, but they're a soulmate. So I can understand both sides of this for her. Okay, let's change decks, and let's go over here and let's just ask for him. What are your thoughts about her? High Priestess. So here's the crazy thing: as rapid as his brain fires and as much as he seems to be all over the place, there's a component of him that knows she's really intuitive. He also knows he's really hurting her with that Five of Cups. He knows, he can feel. Okay, so he's empathic, right? With that High Priestess, he reads her very, very well, and he knows that she's really sad, and it is completely blatant to him with the moon in the reverse. There's nothing when she, like, I'm picturing she literally just deflates when he disappoints her, and I'm picturing he sees that and he knows spot on why she's deflated, why it's sad. He understands completely. And at the same time, he sees her as incredibly sexy, incredibly resilient, incredibly self-possessed. He sees her as a Queen of Wands. So she's the sexiest thing he ever came across. Then why are you so scattered, especially if you know you're causing her grief? Seven of Wands. Oh, there's some energy here where he's like, I don't want her to get too close to me. Why? What's the deal? You literally are trying to stay aloof. Okay. King of Swords sideways. Even if this were upright, he's our fallen angel card, right? He's got those sooty little angel wings. This is, okay, I'm going to roll my eyes there. I did it, and now I'm done with it. The reason I roll my eyes is because I cannot stand the characters that self-sabotage, but try to act like, I'm doing you a favor, baby. I got to push you away. I'm bad for you. Well, straighten up and be good for her then. No, I'm a tarnished fallen angel. Bullshit. You're just fine. And you love her, so treat her better. Sorry, that's my opinion. Now I can zip it. Okay, back to the story. Let me be all PC now. The real Kate will get back in her box. I'm sorry. I am trying to bring some levity to this, but instantly I'm just calling BS on this, because what's so wrong with you? If you love somebody and you obviously want to be with her, but then you're sabotaging it. So wouldn't it have made more sense for you to just say, I'm not going to go near somebody that I really like because I kind of think that I've got some problems of my own that I haven't worked through? That might have been the better way to handle it, is avoid ever interacting with her until you've handled your business, right? But instead, he's partially like, no, I want her because, God, she's so attractive. And I can handle the fact that I'm causing her grief while I'm intentionally pushing her away while still wanting her. So to me, this is selfish. But it's also like, yeah, but see, I know that I'm being selfish, but also I'm trying to protect her from me. And I would call BS on that and say, but you're not, because your selfishness is still here, right? They're halfway karmic. They're not all the way in the reverse where it's like, I'm oblivious to how my actions, impact others. No, he knows. But he's speaking from this like, oh, but see, I'm a tarnished soul kind of energy. He doesn't really want to stay away from her, but then he wants her, and then he still doesn't want to like take responsibility. I feel like he's giving himself a pass that I'm not willing to give this character right now. Not because I don't understand. He may really believe that, look, there's something I'm not proud of in my own self, or something I perceive as my failings, and I haven't dealt with that yet. And so I don't want somebody to get too close and see that in me. I can understand that. But then when we couple it with this selfish energy of, oh, I want her, but I also want to keep her at arm's length, even though I know I'm causing her pain. But see, really, I'm the good guy because I'm protecting her from my tarnished self. No. I'm not going to, I don't agree with that, because you're actually trying to still kind of give yourself that pass. And I'm not going to give in to that, because A, I don't think there's anything wrong with you, character. I'm actually in support of you. And B, I think that you are giving yourself this loophole of why it's kind of okay that you're in this weird limbo land with her. And I'm going to hold you to, I'm the mean mama right now. Okay. And this, I know I'm just supposed to be the narrator, but I'm the mean mama because I got to ask the questions that drive the story. And there's this Nine of Swords. I don't know if he's under this impression that no matter what, I would only cause her stress. So better if I don't like get too close to her, because I would still only cause her stress. I always cause everybody stress. So, I mean, maybe he thinks, no, like I'm not really lovable. Somebody told me that before and I really believed it. But the thing is, you do want her, but you're causing her stress by not just treating her really well. So that's where I'm like, we got to break this pattern. I so want him to break this pattern for himself, but also for her and for them. Six of Pentacles. He knows what it is to give and have harmony. He does know what that is, but he's like petrified of it, petrified that if he really tries and then comes up short, it'll be too devastating. So this could be a self-protective mechanism on his half. We got the 8 of Pentacles upright. No, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to give. I still have so much stuff to work on. Then stay by yourself and work on it. Don't try to get with somebody. Keep them at arm's length. Know that you cause them grief. Know what it is you're doing and still try to claim that you're trying to protect them from you when you're not. You want her and you want to push her away and insist, I still have work to do. Here's what I really think. I think what he wants is for her to like chase him and insist that you're wonderful, everything's perfect. This is exactly, I need to make you feel safe with me. I feel like that's the undercurrent here that's not being said out loud. I'm going to say the inside part outside. He wants to be an emperor, but fears that he's got a long way to go to be the emperor. But I'm saying if she told you over and over and over and over again and fought with you as you try to sabotage, you're my emperor, you're amazing, you're amazing, you're my emperor, I'm wondering if then he'd finally be like, okay, I guess I can have this. But the thing is, even if somebody tells you that, all it might do is puff up an ego. If he doesn't really believe it in himself, he's still not going to feel secure. So he might still play all kinds of games. So I don't see any way around this other than to go do the work on you. I mean, that's just my opinion. I don't know that I'm right. I know I'm coming down so hard on this storyline, but with the Empress here, we need that power couple match. And they could already be the power couple. I don't know. Can I just ask one question? What got it into his skull? Somehow he's the fallen angel. Queen of Pentacles, the Tower. I don't know, some kind of like total collapse of stability somewhere in his world. I mean, maybe there have been times where this could be a mother figure that like really swept his confidence away. Although this is somebody who's really loving, but maybe they were a like helicopter parent. They were overgiving. They made it so that he felt insecure in his own self because there was a smothering mother figure. I don't know, something didn't work out right with this Queen of Pentacles energy. And that Queen of Pentacles who's unchecked and doesn't know how to stop giving could have a negative impact. So it could be that although she's upright, her intentions were good, but something collapsed, and it had to do with, we all need the right kind of ego or a dose of ego, right? Ego is what, it's our drive. It's, I want to be good at this. I want to be known for that. I want to push myself hard. I want to have pride in what I do. I want people to know my name for what I've accomplished. Like, I think the right kind of ego is awesome. I think we got to have that. Otherwise we'd just be little lumps sitting on the couch with no drive. But this says ego collapse, and it might have come from, I don't know, like a helicopter situation, a smothering energy of a mother figure. 10 of Wands, 7 of Swords, Judgment. Okay, it definitely was not unconditional love at all. At all. In fact, something about heavy, heavy guilt factors. Let me do this for you. Gosh, you're never good enough. How come you can't? It would be so much better if you could do this yourself. But yeah, I know you can't. You're just a little one and I'm going to do it for you. Look at all I do for you. It feels like that really mixed up, messed up. Because it's like living in a world made of lies where it's like, hey, this isn't okay. You're loving and giving, but then at the same time, you get to hold it over my head. You get to guilt me. But then the exchange is I'm supposed to love you above all others because look at how much you've sacrificed for me. Okay, I could see why that would be a big old head trip. So it's maybe in this storyline, it was a failure to find one's own confidence. And that's the part that he still is aware he hasn't quite grabbed a hold of. He doesn't quite feel like the emperor, but that's who he wants to be and be with her as an emperor-empress situation. But he's saying, but I still got a ways to go. So I really can't be with her, but man, she's the one I'd want to be with. Okay, can I ask one other kind of rude question? Why aren't you motivated then right now to go ahead and, whatever, climb that rocky cliff face to the top of the mountain of becoming the emperor, right? You want to be with her. You understand there's some confidence issue in this. You understand you got some more work to do. You understand you want to be the emperor empress relationship. So why aren't you motivated enough to just climb to the top of that final little mountain within yourself and then just be ready for this relationship? Two of Swords. There's something blocking him that even he can't see. We have a feminine there sketched out. We've got the Page of Pentacles in the reverse. Maybe this is some conversation he needs to get off his chest. Ten of Swords. Okay, yeah. So there's a burden that he carries. This could even be like, I'm wondering, I'm so sorry to like go down this road where I'm wondering if that whole potential like mother relationship thing that we were talking about earlier still exists. And in order to like they don't even realize how much they still hear somebody's voice in their head, or maybe they've never stood up for themselves, or maybe they've never been able to say, you know, at least say it out loud just for themselves. They don't have to say it to somebody else and say, you know, you shouldn't have said those things to me, blah, blah, blah. Because when we're adults, we kind of have to just say, you know what, I'm actually just going to do what I want to do. I'm not beholden to anybody. And just go our own pathway and just live our life, even if people disagree and even if family, you know, shames us. Because people are always going to have opinions that they have no business having about our lives, right? And part, at least for me, what I learned is that I didn't really become an adult until I was ostracized by some family members. And I had to realize it doesn't matter that they don't like me anymore, because I still have to live my life. And that's just how it has to be. And that's when you stop saying, but I have to have the approval. And you just say, well, that's okay. That's the way it's got to be. I have every bit of a right to go my path anyway and live the way I need to. And for myself, I didn't become an adult until I could shrug that off. Be like, well, it is what it is. What, I'm not going to live my life then? I got to live it under the shadow of someone else's opinions so that I can always get approval. I'm just not going to be able to do that. So I guess I'll have to acknowledge that they just don't approve of me. And that's just how it has to be. And it got easier. It's hard. It was a hard moment, but I also think it helped me to get beyond it, and just shrug, because it's all I could do at some point. And I kind of think that that is perhaps where he's at. I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out how to explain this. And I'm not saying that that's necessarily it, but I'm just trying to give an example of the way I could interpret this and say, because there's something here about needing to stop giving an F. You know, the ten of swords. It doesn't mean that you don't still love a parent, or that you don't love whoever this person was who seems to be that major blockage. But I also think he's got to stop trying to explain himself, or try to still keep in that dynamic of like they get to guilt me and tell me how much they did for me, but then they're also trying to always help me supposedly, but really they're highly judgmental. And I live in this weird dynamic that it's not true. They're not really supportive. They're kind of maybe controlling. But to be able to still love somebody, be like, look, that's just the way they are. That's their opinions. They're going to, you know, overstep boundaries and keep forcing their opinions on me, but I can't let it impact me. I kind of think that's maybe the thing that he hasn't done yet. That's what his final like mountain to climb is, to get to the self-empowerment, to where then he'll be a full-blown emperor, making his own choices, no longer feeling like this shamed fallen angel who never does it quite right. I guess, God, we're going on the deep dive tonight. 11-8, you angel. Thank you so much. Thank you, you angel. You're so generous. We got that Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles is a long road of like working on oneself. At least it seems like it may still be a long road for him. So let me go back over here to her. And remember, her belief in this was, it's really sad, but I got to let him go, which is a great song by Nico Vega. I need to let you go. Something about showered with expensive feelings and disheveled hair. From the deep love Megan to the soul stripped down and bare. And something about like, I want to kiss away the hard sweater on your skin. I want to listen to you ramble on about where you've been, but I need to let you go. And it's kind of like, the song gives this impression that, you know, she's very, very head over heels in love with this person. And she would give way too much of her own time, energy to make him the focal point of her world. And it's not really being reciprocated. And she's like, he's kind of my drug. I'm kind of hooked on him. I need to let him go. Like that's kind of my interpretation of, I think, how the song speaks to me. Great song. Nico Vega's such a great rocker. But that is the way I would interpret her energy on this. I got to let him go, right? That's what that Judgment card is. I want to hold on to him. Oh, God damn, I want to hold on to him, but I got to let him go. I do feel like he's a soulmate, but it's time I let him go. And I would just say that's the only way for her to just allow him to take whatever this journey is, which, as we could already see with that Seven of Pentacles, it could still be a long one for him. Even though he thinks he's at an Eight of Pentacles, this says it could take him a really long time to, you know, grapple with that last bit of what he needs to find in himself to feel empowered, so he's not still walking around, oh, I'm the tarnished, you know, souled angel who, you know, I shouldn't be with you, but I'm going to try to cling to you, but also push you away simultaneously. That all has to stop. And the only one who can put a stop to it right now is her. Four of Swords. She's tired too. She's exhausted. She's probably feeling drained from this whole experience. This feminine could be like literally saying, you know, the emotional distance. She may actually feel more rested the more she stops thinking about him. She may sleep better, sleep deeper. The further she gets emotionally away from this, even though, keep in mind, this is, oh my God, the grief, the sorrow, it's so hard to let him go. But I feel like the fatigue sets in. Too does, oh God, finally I can sleep. Finally I actually feel better from walking away from this, because it was way harder to stay in this dynamic of tension where I love him, I want to hold on to him, but he's pushing me away, he's not there, he's scattered, he's back and forth in and out of my energy. Why can he not just be with me? What is going on? Like that, I think, was like rattling her cage inside. And here she is as that full-blown Queen of Wands, which is how he saw her all this time. He's seen her as the sexiest thing ever. She is. She's very sexy. She's very empowered. Keep in mind, she could be a he just as easily. This could be a same-sex couple, but she has consistently come out as a Queen of Wands. And a Queen of Wands is very good at choosing for herself what she will and will not tolerate. She'll make the tough decision for herself, the right decision, because she's like, look, even if I love something, if it's not giving me what I need, what I want, of course I'm going to walk away from it. I have to. Like, I deserve better. I advocate for me. I have to have better. I have to have what I'm worth. And this is her sitting on her suitcases, ready to go. She got suitcases twice. This card and this card. And she is, I don't know if this is telepathically, because I feel like she's in this storyline, she's basically in the place of just acknowledging, I'm letting him go. Like, I already feel like this is a done deal. I already feel like she's released him and is just standing there, kind of like maybe she's crying her final cathartic tears and just recognizing, I know that I got to let him go. I got to do it for me. But as she does this, you know, that's maybe it is something symbolic. Maybe they were living together. I don't think so, though. I think it's more like her emotional baggage. But I think as she moves away from it, she is like leaving that lingering thought hanging in the air. And this is the lingering thought that is what she's projecting toward them and what they already know, which is she's saying, I'll be with an emperor that shows up on my doorstep, that is right there for me, that is not scattered, that is not inconsistent. That's what I deserve, no less. So this is who I will end up with. If it's going to be you, then this is who you'd have to show up to me as. And I just feel like this is the sentence hanging in the air that isn't even spoken, because he knows it too. He already knows it. We saw that with the Emperor Empress energy that was on his mind. But this is just her like projecting it out there. So I feel like, you know, not all things have to be said with so many words for two people to understand exactly what the expectation is. It's this or nothing. I'm leaving because this is what I deserve. So that's it. This is what I'll have. She's not telling him you didn't measure up. She's not telling him, you know, shame on you. How could you not, you know, give me what I need? It's none of that. all of this on her side is more just like, I kind of feel like this entire storyline has been said without words. Like maybe I could have just held up the cards and said nothing, but that would have been really weird. But I feel like none of this is being discussed between the two of them. It's just what is understood. The Queen of Swords in the reverse, there's a piss-offedness here too. There is a frustration that I don't think was vocalized, because this would be a silent queen, but she's pissed. I do feel like there's this energy of, this is what I deserve. This is who you are and who you should have been to me. Why the fuck couldn't you have been that to me? But she's not saying it. There's a lot of emotion here. With the Knight of Swords, there's also the acknowledgement, maybe I wanted you to be this before you were ready to be this. I mean, she's acknowledging you came in and out of my life. Again, with that Knight of Swords, you were all scattered instead of just being ready to be the emperor. It's a little bit like, why'd you even have to, what's that song? I think it's Damian Rice who sings it. So why'd you sing hallelujah if it meant nothing to you? Why'd you sing for me at all? I can never remember the title of that song. I don't know if that's in the title or if it has a different title, but there's a little bit of like, why'd you even do this if you knew you weren't ready? That's the only place where her pissed-offedness is lingering, I think, because you should have self-control. Don't come near me if you can't give me what you know I want, and what if you won't be the person that I know you can be. 8 of Pentacles. Look, there is a part of her though that I think, and this is probably the best card here, it's that this is her on it now. She's like, but I can't really heap it all on you now, can I? Because how come I let you into my heart when I knew damn well you weren't ready? I saw it. I wanted an emperor and you came in as a knight. So why'd I let you into my heart? She might be saying, maybe I got to work on a few things too. Maybe I got to work on my boundaries a little bit. She might be a little bit mad at herself just because she's like, I did know better. This is her taking responsibility now for her component of this. If I saw that you were just a knight, why did I go and let myself fall for you? Why did I get to this point where I was like, oh, but you're a soulmate, but I love you, but I want you. Why did I let this hurt me when I could tell you weren't ready? So maybe I should have had a little bit more like higher expectations. And if you couldn't meet them right out of the gate, been like, you're great, honey, but you're not ready for someone like me. Maybe she can work on her boundaries now. I think that's kind of always the best energy in any story, is when we don't just have like these one-dimensional characters where it's like, you're a villain and I'm the perfect one. This is like both of them do have a little bit of something to work on, right? Final message on all this. 6 of Cups. Okay. So the overview is, guess what? This is soulmate energy. Any way you slice it. Soulmate energy is, we are in the classroom of life together and we will learn stuff together. We may have, like, think of when you're in school and let's say in 5th grade or something, we had little, sometimes they put us in little study groups, right? And you would find out that one classmate's like really good at math, but at the end, the other classmates are really good at reading, or you're really good at reading and they're really good at math, but they suck at spelling. Sometimes we realize that even though we're in the same class together, we don't all have the same skill sets. We've got different stuff that we got to work on. And I feel like that's the epitome of what soulmate energy is. None of us are perfect. We're all learning this stuff kind of for the first time, even if we've had lifetimes in the past. We come into this world with maybe some semblance of, like old memories from past lives, some natural aptitudes and gifts, but we gotta navigate this big, huge life, and nobody has all the answers. Not us, not them. And sometimes we don't even know what pieces of information we haven't learned yet until we stumble. And then, it's kind of like, like in school where sometimes, like my brother, when he was a kid, went down on his skateboard and hit a stump and it flipped him forward and it broke out his 2 front teeth. And so just because of that, he was going to have problems, forming words for a while. So he was going to, a speech therapist in school, in elementary school, so that his lips could get used to the proper pronunciation, even though his little teeth weren't there to like help, keep his little mouth where it should be. And, there are things that we need a little bit of help with, and we don't even know what kinds of, stumbling blocks we might have or what is missing. Like if he hadn't had a speech therapist, he might never have recognized that, oh, my mouth is supposed to make a certain shape. But I don't have the teeth there to support that shape. He wouldn't have known the difference had he not had a speech pathologist to help him, understand that and learn to shape those words right. He got lucky, right? Well, I guess I had a good mom, but I'm just pointing out that sometimes we don't know what we don't know. We don't know what little gaps we might have or what might be missing unless somebody comes along and helps show it to us, unless we have a little partner or a little teacher or, somebody to help us. And so I think that this is one of those stories. This isn't about villains. This isn't about, oh, he's a jerk and she's really great and how dare he hurt her. That's not at all what the storyline is, which I really appreciate that about this. I think it makes it so much more, it's such a softer energy in this. Even though I was being a little bit hard on this character for a hot minute, I still think that that's a better, more in-depth, like way to look at characters. So anyway, all said and done, that's how I'm going to leave this one. You guys, thank you so much for being here. Aries, sweet dreams, sweetheart. Travis Rhodes, good to see you. I used to love him. Wonderful to catch you, love. Come see. Jana Engel, wonderful to see you. Shout out to you in South Africa, my love. I haven't said hi to you in ages, I feel like. Jeannie Vale, wonderful to see you. Oh, sweetheart, I'm sure that you are very important to not just that person, but probably many, many people in your life. You're beautiful. Melly, good to see you. Hi, Small TV. Delicate, love that. Sonara, good morning, honey. Tea, baby, how are you, love? Hey, night owls. Kita, hi, honey. 11:08, thank you again. Yes, yes, indeed. I've got a giant purple spider ring. It was my mom who made me get this at a thrift shop. I was like, what do I need with a giant spider ring? And she's like, well, because you don't have something like that. It's like, okay, you're right, Mom. You're right. I need a spider ring. Queen Libra 76, good to see you. Oh gosh, I used to love him. When you wrote, it sounds like running scared to you. That so makes me think of that song by Roy Orbison, Running Scared. Love that. Anisha Chatu, great to see you, honey. Hi, Wajuna Wild. Awesome to see you. Wajuna Wild, we're delighted you're here. Thank you again, 11:08. Empress Unicorn 111. Hi, darling. SKE 80, great to see you. Carl Fike, great to catch you, hun. Small TV, I have a lot of rude questions. Misty Barrett, I'm sorry. I do send support to him and his family for sure. Ambiently me, wonderful to see you. You guys, thank you. Ken Ramey, awesome to see you. I know, I like this backdrop too. I'm not huge into the color purple, to be honest. It turns out I own a lot more purple than I thought I did, but I do love this shade of purple. But for the most part, I'm like, oh, I don't like purple. I don't wear purple very often. And then it turns out I have a lot of purple and I dig this one. So I don't know. Sometimes I think I'm just contrary. Eliana, you sweetheart. Eliana, when I was starting to paint, I would do like what I would call like my studies in painting. And so I did a lot of first copying the greats. So I love Impressionism. So I definitely like John Singer Sargent's probably my all-time favorite painter, especially just his use of white in his watercolors. But his oil paintings are amazing too. Probably one of my favorites by him is this painting, I think it's called The Bedouin. And he traveled a lot in the 1800s and went to so many places in Europe that I absolutely love. And I had just different places abroad and into the Sahara. And so there's a lot of like that style of painting. So, and he's so good at capturing like, people flamenco dancing in Spain and everything. So probably I would say when I started painting, I was like trying to copy paintings that I liked and admired to learn how to paint. And then for a while I would like just get focused on like faces. And then I would get photography books and just try to, work on my composition to learn how to do faces. And then eventually I bought books on anatomy and I just started painting skeletons because I thought I would be better with anatomy if I could learn how to first paint the bone structure underneath and get the ratios right. And then, I've always done other things, some murals here and there and some, just like birdhouses or whatever, it's other little things. I think we always kind of were artistic in my family. But I was homeschooled through high school and was done 2 years early. So I kind of had a little bit more freedom, like 14 and 15 is when I painted a ton. Then after that, I was done with school. So I had kind of a little bit unconventional background. So I got to kind of like pour energy into trying to learn certain things that I was just interested in. But I never got very good. So, but I had a good time messing around with my paints, and whether I was using, oil pastels or oil paint or, tempera or watercolor, I kind of like all the mediums. But yeah, and I did a lot of woodworking and such too. But yeah, so it just kind of depended on what my little project was or what I was focusing. I would spend a month and just try to learn how to paint a hand, so copied a lot of Da Vinci at that point in time. So yeah. Sunflowers, Moon Power, good to see you. Hi, Nick. Hi, Lulu, Nikki O. Thank you guys for being here. Sorry to bore you guys with painting talk. Hey, Wendy E. Good to see you, love. Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. You were in the OR again today getting your other knee some help. Oh, sweetheart, I hope that your other knee is feeling better. I hope that they were able to give you some assistance for sure. I used to love him. That's awesome. Yeah, that's so cool. Yes, indeed. Yes, a little gouache. 11:08, I love that. All right, you guys, take care. Lots of love. I will see you guys next. I'm going to go ahead and do the Cancerian video, and then I'm going to bounce over to the other channel, I think one more over there. Okay. All right, you guys, I'll see you in just a minute for Cancer. All right. Lots of love, you guys. Bye for now.